CBDC는 정부에서 직접 통제하는 디지털 화폐입니다. CBDC가 허용되면 정부는 국민들의 자산을 삭제할 수도 있고 심지어 돈의 용도까지 정부에서 정해주는 게 가능합니다. CBDC는 이름은 화폐지만 사실상 돈의 모습을 한 프로그램입니다. 현재 CBDC가 가장 많이 발달한 나라는 중국입니다. 통제를 좋아하는 공산국가들이 제일 선호하는 화폐가 CBDC입니다. 왜냐하면 국민들의 자유를 완벽히 박탈하는 무기이기 때문입니다. CBDC는 대한민국을 중국 같은 통제사회로 만들 것입니다. 미국에서도 CBDC가 진행되고 있으며 이에 반대하는 움직임이 시작되었습니다.
Central bank digital currency, the whole premise of that is it's not voluntary, it's compulsory. It's sort of like democratic socialism. You might vote your way into it, but you won't be able to vote your way out of it. I've co-sponsored several variations to ban it. And what I want to do is criminalize people that are doing the work. And so we're just going to criminalize it because, frankly, if you were counterfeiting money, if you were designing plates that would counterfeit $100 bills, you would get in trouble. And if you were actively building those plates, you would get in trouble. And if you were printing the money and saying, oh, no, I'm just printing it, I'm getting it ready, I'm not actually establishing it or circulating it, you'd still get in trouble. So we think that the statute could be applied to be able to criminalize the development of a central bank digital currency. We're working with our alleged counsel in the House of Representatives to be able to draft a text that does just that. And in this case, no one's voting to do this. We're in fact telling the Federal Reserve, don't do that. And they continue to proceed. So, one surefire way to get them to knock it off is to put them in jail if they do the work on it. And, I hope it doesn't come to that, but hopefully, we can just pass this legislation and it'll be very clear. All right, we're not working on that anymore. We got it. We heard the people of the country loud and clear. We're not going to do that. There are people that think we should, though, because they say, well, China's doing it, so we have to keep up with China. Like, why would we want to be more like China? We're America. We have 1 million people a year coming legally in the United States. And frankly, under the Biden administration, a couple million more coming illegally. There's nobody trying to get into China. We don't need to compete with China by being more, dystopian. And, we are not a police state, but people want that power. And it's like a noxious weed. We have to trim it back. And I think that's the point of what I'm trying to do here with this legislation. And look, China doesn't have the same concept for government that we do. The default setting for Americans is freedom, and that's only supposed to be diminished after due process. This corrupts that whole concept and says the government will grant your rights and they will revoke your rights, and you may never even get around to the due process part. We have to preserve, sound money is essential to defending freedom, and central bank digital currency is really a true threat to it. I think it's fundamentally a threat to the whole premise of Western civilization. Joe Biden nominated someone to be the director of the controller of the currency, which is a regulatory agency that oversees bank regulation. And she literally has a PhD from the Soviet Union on communist banking. So there is an appetite for this kind of a program. This is the currency that the kind of currency that the Chinese Communist Party is implementing in China, and they've linked it to a social credit system. So the government says if you've been a good citizen, then you can spend your money. If you've been a bad citizen, you can't spend your money on, say, plane tickets or train tickets. The government grants you the ability to access your money. It's totally filterable and cancelable.
CBDC 실험이 가장 앞선 나라 중 한 곳은 중국입니다. 2년여 전부터 중앙은행인 인민은행이 디지털 위안화를 발행해 800만 개 점포에서 쓸 수 있습니다. 100여 개국이 발행을 고려할 정도로 중앙은행의 디지털 화폐 발행은 세계적인 추세입니다. 한국은행도 연구 사업을 진행하며 디지털 원화 발행을 준비 중인데
이런 산업이 발전할 수 있도록 대안을 제시해 주는 게 어떠냐. 그런 면에서는 지금 CBDC라고 해서 중앙은행이 발행하는 가상화폐도 지금 저희들이 적극적으로 고민하고 있습니다.
이를 뒷받침할 법안이 처음 제출됐습니다.
원화를 디지털 형태로 발행하는 거기 때문에 저는 활용도가 상당히 높을 거라고 생각이 듭니다.
everywhere it's depicted as evil. And you look at it, it is definitely going to be abused if it's implemented. It shouldn't be even being developed. Here you got the ability to completely undermine private property, access to your own money. The fundamental principles of Western civilization are undermined by this kind of corruption of money.